Up on a developing story out of Austin here on 550 KTSA. Shortly before 10 o'clock, UT posted on its website and tweeted and texted to everybody who's registered as part of their reverse 911 system an immediate general evacuation of all UT Austin buildings. Now again, we're talking about UT Austin. And what they said in the warning was immediately evacuate all buildings and get as far away as possible. More information to come. Some news organizations are now reporting that the university received a phone call from a man with a Middle Eastern accented voice claiming to be with Al-Qaeda and claiming that he had planted bombs in numerous campus buildings. Of course, there must be dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of different facilities that UT has, different buildings and so forth, and parts of buildings. Anyway, this is a general evacuation, and it has not been countered or recalled to this point. We're going to continue to follow the story. Nothing has happened as far as we know yet, except that people are heeding the evacuation warning. UT Austin. We'll follow the story, break in, and as soon as we get any more on that here on 550 KTSA, and of course you can always get news on demand at ktsa.com. So on our Gang of Four today, Jonathan Gurwitz, Chip Haass, Doug Vair. All right, we all know what the big story of this week has been. Was it really about that movie?
Rules of engagement?
Well, was it really about the Mohammed movie?
No, absolutely not.
Is anybody buying that?
No.
No, there's always going to be a pretext. There are reports that the attack in Libya had been pre-planned, that it was a carefully orchestrated
It had to
attack.
be. You had to know where he would be.
So this was that was a coincidence, or it was a pretext. But if it wasn't that movie, it would have been something else. They had to find something. But they're always going to. If your default position is we're constantly going to apologize for this or that grievance, then people are going to continually find other grievances. And the one thing that's really disappointed me, two things about this week. One is, we're talking about how did they not know and things that the United States didn't do. And I'm a little wary of having that discussion so much because, in a sense, it's blaming the victim. Remember, the United States is the victim here. American diplomats are the victim here, and the focus should be on the people who are doing the attacking. And in the same way, when we talk about, was it this movie, or how did Mitt Romney react, and what did Mitt Romney say, it really deflects attention from where it should be, which is we need to be talking about why these people are doing it, and this is what they call a teachable moment, where Americans and American leaders and American embassies ought to be talking about the value of free speech. It's not only about respect for religion and religious tolerance, it's also that we respect, it's a fundamental right, a constitutional right, for people to say controversial things, and we don't kill each other over those things.
Yeah, but it's to me, it still goes back to the fact, everything you said is true, Jonathan, but to me, why would you not have assets in hot spots or assets close by in these hot spots that you know something is probably, even if you don't hear it through the background chat or through back channels, you know something, however big or small, is going to happen around 9/11. Why do you not have assets deployed where they can be close at hand? Because I remember, you go back to that situation in Somalia, the Black Hawk Down. I had the privilege of meeting a captain who was in charge of logistics, and when he landed there in Somalia, he said, where are the AC-130s, those huge 4-engine prop planes that can lay down a pattern of machine gun spray to cover an entire football field every inch in about 6 seconds? He said, where are those assets? And he was told that the Clinton administration didn't want that much of a presence in Somalia. But my point is this: why wouldn't we have some presence like that to protect our people? Yes, the loss of life, that our ambassador, he is the victim. Americans, we are the victim, but why would we not have those assets someplace close by?
Well, and I don't know that it's reasonable, Doug, to think that you could cover every potential hotspot, especially on an anniversary like 9/11, because so many things are
Arab Spring?
Well, and I don't doubt that that there was, you know, what you're talking about, the amount of expense to prepare in all those places to get everything moving, all the militaristic efforts to have the assets spread out and on guard. I mean, I can't imagine logistically how difficult that is, what the expense would be. And I think to some extent it's easy to say in hindsight, you know, boy, we should have expected that, we should have anticipated, we should be prepared. And I think, as Jonathan said, it is a teachable moment. And I wish that we would grasp hold of that and really try to advance that position forward.
Well, let me ask this question. Nobody here is buying that it was the movie. So why are we being sold by our own government that it was the movie?
Right, and that, like I said, I'm very disappointed that in all the statements that have come out from the State Department, from the White House, finally yesterday, President Obama finally said something about free speech.